Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Songs Garage podcast. And it's a Valentine special today because we're talking to a brilliant guy called Shahar Algazy. He owns one of the largest Fast and Furious replica collections in the world. So today we're going to be talking to him about his passion for cars, his passion for the films, and how that changed his life. And we're really hoping you enjoy it. So enjoy.
What's up, Shahar? Hey,
Hey, what's up? How you guys doing?
Yeah,
pretty
not
good.
bad.
Where are
It's
you?
nice to meet you finally.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you too. What a
I'm
backdrop
home.
that is. Wow. That's one hell of a backdrop. I love it.
Where are you,
Yeah,
Shahar? Where are you?
I'm home on my front porch,
Where's that?
LA.
I like it.
Los Angeles. Los Angeles. Look at that
Last,
background, Alex. It's
last,
sunny.
I
He's in a
know.
last time,
short
Sandy,
sleeve.
California.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's snowing here. I
Is
woke
it?
up
Oh
to
yeah.
snow. Yeah, I can't move anywhere. Not that I was going anywhere anyway. But oh, it looks so hot. I'm jealous. I'm
Where
jealous, guys.
Where you at,
So
Alex?
I'm in England, just below Birmingham, which is about 2 hours north of London.
Okay. And
Yeah, yeah. So
and it's
it's
snowing.
called Reddit. Yeah, it's snowing. Yeah, and I live on a hill, and it's the most difficult road to get out of. When it's snow,
Oh
you just
wow.
slip back down it. Yeah, and I've got a car that I can't currently move on my driveway, and everyone who comes around to the house, like people like plumbers and electricians and families, are all like, "Oh, you should move that car when it starts to get frosty," because I've seen cars like slip down driveways, and I'm like, it doesn't stop. I can't do
Oh
anything
no.
about it. If it's gonna drop, it's gonna drop.
Oh no. I remember I
But
used to, like a decade ago, I used to live in Baltimore, Maryland, and it was snowing over there, and I hated it. I hated it. I remember I would go every morning. I would want to go to work. I would go into my car, and my car is all snow, so you don't even recognize your car because you don't remember where you parked.
yeah.
And then you start shoveling the snow out, and then you realize, oh, it's not my car. Shoot.
It's just a public service. It's fine.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, okay, congrats. I just shoveled your car.
Yeah. Oh, where's mine?
Wait, how long did
Oh,
you live in
brilliant.
Baltimore, Shahar?
I lived in Baltimore in 2008 for 8 months. 8
8 months.
months.
Yeah.
Yeah, 8 months.
So I don't think Alex knows your story. Shahar was actually going to come to London to meet you. He was going to come to the whole trip that I had planned
Oh,
up there.
nice. Yeah, yeah.
So hopefully when that happens again, you'll actually get to meet him in person. But
Yeah, that'd be
you
good.
know,
Yay.
I think for me, Shahar's story is so fascinating of how he landed in LA, right? And how he has that car in the background right now. And Shahar, just kind of tell us like, where you're from, why you left, and why you're here. And just give us your story for all the folks that don't know who Shahar is. So yeah, go ahead,
So,
bro.
for sure. My name is Shahar Algazy. Uh, Hebrew is Shahar Algazy. Originally, I'm from Israel. I lived in Israel for the past 34 years. Before I moved here 2 years ago. Had great life in Israel, beautiful country. I had computer stores in Tel Aviv. I had some really nice cars. The main thing is with Israel is that the car scene is great. It's cool, but there's so much restrictions over there that you are not allowed to modify your car in Israel, and that just killed me in Israel as a huge car guy, as a car fanatic. I used to come to the U.S. maybe twice a year for Woodward Dream Cruise in Detroit and the SEMA show in Vegas every year, and my mind was just blown away, by what you can accomplish in the US and how you can enjoy your car and modify and everything. And uh, living in Israel, when it's a country when modifying cars are illegal and not allowed. I mean, anything you want to do, you gotta be low key. You can't go extravagant. I mean, you wouldn't be able to drive something like that in Israel. Um, you would get pulled over in a second because the front bumper is too low and can cut someone's leg off, and the rear wing would block your rear view mirror, so you would get in an accident because you can't see who's behind you, and the wheels are bigger than original, and the tires are too wide, and all that kind of BS, which I couldn't really understand. Um, and the main thing for me was, for as long as I can remember myself, I always dreamed of a first gen Dodge Viper. Um, and I knew it would be probably impossible for me to have that car in Israel. One, um, we can only import cars to Israel that would be 2 years or 30 years old. So either way, I would have to wait until 2022 or 2024 for my specific Viper. And on top of that, add another 110% tax and shipping cost and all that and all the kind of regulations. And I didn't see it happening. So I woke up one day after I came back from SEMA. We came back to Israel, and I told my wife, listen, we got to move. We got to move to LA. And she's like, we're going to move from Israel to another country just because you want to have a Viper? And I'm like, no, we're going to move for a better life and for me to have my Viper. So we worked on that in the background for, I believe it was like almost 3 years the right way. And we just moved. And the day I knew that I have a flight ticket, the day I knew the date that I have my flight ticket, I started talking to people about that was selling their Vipers. I contacted the guy. I told him, listen, I'm going to be in LA in that specific date. I'm coming to take the car. So we had like a 16-hour flight, 7 suitcases, me, my wife, the little dog with us, landing in LA, all the paperwork for hours and all that. My buddy came to pick us up, and he hosted us at his house. And we got to his house, unloaded all the suitcases, had breakfast, and then I'm like, hey, Rod, would you mind driving me? It's 2 hours away. I want to go pick up a Viper. And he's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I want to pick up a Viper. We got in the car. We drove for like 2 hours. My wife was like, I hate you. I hate you. 16 hours flight and another 3 hours. We got to that Viper. It was the first time in my life I saw that car. First time in my life I sat in one. First time in my life driving it. And I'm driving back. It was a 2 hour drive. The car has no windows, no roof, no nothing. And I'm driving in, I don't know, it was almost 10 p.m. at the time. I just bought the car. I'm super scared. I don't know what's going on. And I'm like that. The whole way back. And it's just been amazing ever since. After I got the car, I was like, okay, I'm gonna start working. I need a daily driver, and I didn't want to drive the Viper because it was so precious to me. So I was like, I need to get a daily driver, and I want to do something that I couldn't do in Israel. So I decided to build the green Eclipse from the first movie, and I just started building it, and I started daily driving that thing for maybe the first year I was here. So yeah,
That's crazy. So I
and
mean,
it's
sorry, go on.
no, I'm just saying it's just an amazing experience ever since, and I just feel blessed to be here, to be where I'm at, to be in the U.S., to be among great car guys like you guys and all that, and it's I just feel wonderful. I'm just thankful for everything I have, you know,
It makes you
for being.
appreciate. It makes you appreciate the access that we have in the states. That we could basically go and touch any car, go build something, and you don't go to jail for it. Crazy, you know? And then people actually flee their homeland to go be able to modify a car. It's crazy, man. He's not a political refugee. He's not like a wanted man. You know, there's no like he's not here on a political asylum, right? It's like he's here because he's not, what would he be called? He would be labeled auto asylum. is what he is. He's a he's an auto asylum, right? Yeah.
Dude, it's literally like that. I remember nights in Israel when we had like meets in Tel Aviv, in like sketchy places, in gas stations, and then the police came up and start blocking all the exits, and we're knocking off the fence in the back of a gas station, and everybody had to jump with their cars like a feet in order to get out. Everybody's breaking the front and rear bumpers just to get out, so the police wouldn't, get them and start impounding their cars and start looking for modified parts and all that. I mean, it's just crazy. It's
It's
just crazy.
almost like
You
a
cannot.
natural backdrop for Fast and Furious.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Yeah, you lived it.
Right? Because the restrictions, the law is after you because it's against the law to modify your cars, right? But this leads me to a good question. In California, because of the COVID stuff, there's a lot of issues with street racing, illegal street racing. And look, I get the idea, especially, coming from me, it makes no sense to tell people not to go fast, right? And not to enjoy their cars. But at the same time, I think we have the ability to do it responsibly in America, at least, especially California. We have racetracks and everything. So the question for you, Shahar, is that if a country like Israel had loosened up their restrictions, do you think there would be less, illegal activity and, street racing and all of that in Israel? Or would that would always exist because you got knuckleheads and people want to do stupid things?
I mean, everywhere in the world, you would always have that knucklehead that ruin it for everybody and wouldn't follow anything, whatever what you're gonna give him. That's a given. But I think, if Israel would see the benefit of opening up aftermarket parts, to be allowed, and modifying cars and all that, I think they would just benefit it because they tax everything either way. So imagine a huge aftermarket parts coming in from all over the world, and they tax the parts. I don't mind. I mean, if you ask me, I would say, dude, just tax the parts and keep your yearly, smog test and all that, and just let us enjoy the car. I mean, I get it if you don't want to let people modify a car to be 1,000 horsepower with stock brakes, but I mean, most people would do what? Get bigger brakes, get coilovers, get bigger tires. It's not something that would be, it's not something that's gonna ruin the car. It's just gonna improve the car. So I don't really get it, and I think if Israel would be open to open up that aftermarket parts market, that will be a huge benefit to the country with that income they're gonna tax on it, and the people that just love doing it. I mean, I don't see. I mean, I drive these cars every day. I don't think you can get anything more reliable than that. I mean,
All right.
you go and you talked about street racing and all that. For me, living in California, living in the U.S. in general, for me, I look at it in a different perspective because you have like 5 tracks in a matter of half an hour or 2 hours away. So I mean, why street race? For me, I came from a country; it wasn't even a possibility. When I left 3 years ago, they just started building 2 small tracks. But over here in LA, I have Willow Springs, I have Button Willow, I have Chiquala. If I want to go drag racing, I have Irwindale, I have Pomona, the Auto Club Speedway. I have within an hour of a radius, I have like 5 or 6 tracks. You go, you pay $25 or $45 to test tune your car. You can go on track, 8 mile track from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. It's beautiful. So I see no sense in going street racing. I'm pretty much against it now that I'm here because it's so easy to go on track and it's so fun and there's nobody that can surprise you or nobody will jump in your lane. Nobody would come in front of you. You have marshals, you have ambulance, you have everything. There's no sense. There's no sense on doing it. I
Crazy
want to
thing
go
about
fast, and we have places to go fast. So
Crazy thing is he has a FD from the Fast movie, the Replica, Dom's car, right? And he tracks it. He actually takes it to the track.
I tracked all of them. All of my
Fascinating.
cars was
That's good.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
So let me ask
What's-
you, Shahar. Somebody pulls up to you. You're driving that Eclipse or your FD. They start revving their engine, right?
Okay.
You see the green light turn to yellow on your left, right at the intersection, and he's revving. He rolls down the window and he goes, "What is that Fast and Furious JDM crap?" And he's like, "Wow! What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?"
I mean, the speed limit is up to 35. It doesn't say how fast you can go up to 35.
Great answer. Great answer.
Yes. Nice. You've been asked that before, haven't you?
So yeah, that would be the fastest 35 mile per hour I ever drove. So, so yeah.
What's the RX-7 like? Because you hear from a lot of people on the internet who don't necessarily own one that they're unreliable and that they go through apex seals and whatever. But from an owner, what's it actually like to drive? Reliability, fuel consumption. What's it?
Oh, it's like everybody's saying. It's unreliable and the fuel facility is shit.
Okay, so it is true. All right.
Yeah,
Cross
all
off
you
my
hear is
list.
true. The RX-7, the Rotary community is probably gonna kill me. But listen, you ask any RX-7 owner the basic question of how many times have you rebuilt your engine, and you can tell me it's a reliable car. Listen, you drive that car. It's a 25-year-old car. That Rotary was maybe great back then, and it's still great, and it's still special, and it still does everything you want it to do. But yeah, you gotta premix, you gotta take care of it, you gotta tune it every once in a while. The wiring harness on that car is crap. I mean, everything. It's not an easy car to maintain. If you're out there looking to buy an FD, you gotta tell yourself it's not gonna be your daily driver when you just go into your car, turn key, and you just go and do the regular oil changes and regular maintenance on it. It's gotta be constantly maintained. I'll show you the car.
Yeah, let's see.
Do I have a way to flip the camera around? Yeah, sure. Are we still with good connection? Can you see the car?
Yeah, all good.
So that's
Damn.
the FD. Very wise. Most of my steering wheels are stored in the house. Anti-theft.
Yeah. Nos bottle on the passenger seat. I like it.
This one or this one?
I know. Is that a cushion on the seat?
The on the seat, that's cushion. Yeah.
Brilliant. Oh, you've got
That's the
the
Tyrese's
other.
car.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
So how close are these to the real cars? Because I know that you're quite close with Craig Lieberman. Are these like?
The purple one and the RX-7 are pretty much on point. I mean, everything on the cars are on point.
Yeah, even the steering
the green
wheel.
one, the green one is really hard to do.
Right.
There's some more parts and you still need to source for it, but it's pretty much on point. I just got the new wheels this week. They're like brand new. I still missing the roof scoop. I'm still missing like the hood pins. When I have the cars out, everybody's pulling over to take photos to enjoy the
Shahar,
cars.
how did you duplicate the graphics on that?
So the original company that did the graphics on the movie cars called Modern Image. That's when you see on the hood of the car it says MI.
Oh yeah, sure.
Modern Image. So they are the ones that did the original graphics on all the cars from Fast 1, Fast 2, and I believe Fast 3 also, Tokyo Drift. And they're still around. They're in San Diego. And the owner, there were two owners. They split. The owner of Modern Image in San Diego actually did the decals on the RX-7 himself.
Damn.
Wow.
So yeah, so that
Damn.
was beautiful. It's the exact same guy that worked on the Hero One car for the movie. It's the exact same guy, same details, same everything.
That's pretty cool.
So
That's
so
pretty
the
cool.
company is still around.
You have access to those people. See, California is
Mm.
like the mecca of everything car related, man.
Yeah,
It's
it's
where-
supposed
That's
to be.
that's the amazing part with these cars. I mean, I wouldn't expect in, in in the world that I would drive down to San Diego to do the decals on the RX-7. Um, you know, and having the owner that actually did the cars for the movie. It's like the same guy that laid those decals on the cars for the movie suddenly working on my car, and it's an amazing guy, and he shared some stories, and he worked on he worked on the car himself. Can you still see me?
No.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we can see now.
Sorry about that.
Not-
So it's just even an amazing experience. You think you're gonna go to San Diego and spend like a few hours just to put some decals on, and then you meet the owner, and then you talk about Fast One and his involvements with doing the decals, and Fast Two, flying to Miami, going on an airplane just to pick up a roll of vinyl and coming back. It's just amazing stories.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't dream in my life in Israel I would get to experience something like that ever.
Mm.
So
So how did you go about finding all the parts? Like, did you have to do a load of research, or did you just kind of talk to people around LA? Because you know people were involved with the films around LA.
so the parts are really hard to find. You gotta understand that all the parts on these cars are mainly discontinued parts from the early 2000s or late 90s. Um, there's nothing new that you can purchase. It's all gotta be used. It's all gotta be rebuilt. It's all gotta be, you know. Um, most of the parts are just used parts that I had to go online. I've been blessed and lucky enough to meet some really cool friends, like you said, Craig Lieberman and my buddy Kevin, that helped me source a lot of parts. I'm new over here. I don't know where to look. I don't know what the keywords. Most of the time, I just punch in Fast and Furious parts or Access 7 wheels. APR performance wing. It's really hard to find. Fully attic shift knob. I had parts coming in from all over the world. I had a steering wheel coming in from Japan for the RX-7. I had a steering wheel come from Italy for the Purple Eclipse. I had a shift knob coming in from France. I had pedal covers coming in for the Eclipse from Belgium. I had what was it? I had a lot of parts coming in from all over the world. Parts from Germany, amazing people around the world that just want to contribute and help you build those cars. That's the amazing part of this journey. It's for me, it really is a journey. You're building the car, and it's like the whole asset around it. With sourcing the part, going to pick up parts. I was looking for the seats for the Green Eclipse. It's Sparco Torino 2 black and gray seats. Discontinued. No matter how much money you're gonna offer Sparco, they wouldn't make it anymore. So I'm sitting one day online, and I'm like, suddenly I see those seats in Sacramento, and I'm calling the guy, and he wants only $600 for them, which is almost nothing. Any other replica builders that would have those seats in his possession would probably ask like $2,000 or $3,000 for them. So I'm like, hey, I want to get the seats. It's done. I can send you a deposit right now, or if you want, I'm just from LA. Is there anything you can do if I can come by from LA? And he's like, shoot, if you're coming from LA, I'll give it to you for 400. I just need to get rid of them by Friday. And I'm like, I'm sitting in bed with my iPhone, texting with this guy, and I'm like, hey, babe, you want to do the weekend in San Francisco? I just gotta make a quick stop in Sacramento before.
Yeah, wrap it up in a holiday. Always works.
So we drove my Prius all the way to Sacramento, like 9 hours to get those seats. I got the seats from the guy, and then me and my wife went to for a weekend in San Francisco. It's each part on this car is just a beautiful memory. Like, it's just awesome. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. It's not like, if I would go online and just order seats, I mean, it's cool and all. You're modifying your car, you're having your own style in it. I'm all for that. But the journey with those Fast and Furious cars, with hunting down parts from the late '90s, that's every part has its own story. It's like blood, sweat, and tears going into each car. So yeah.
I love that. I mean, that's kind of what we're trying to get across with Sung's Garage, is that it's not necessarily the output. It's not the car that you get at the end. It's the journey that you go on, and it's the people you meet, and the what you learn, and the experiences. How did that story start for you? Like, what started your love for the Fast and Furious? What made you want to do these cars?
I mean, obviously, growing up in Israel as a kid in the '90s, watching the first movie that came out in Israel. I don't know. I was in my teens. You know, seeing something that's really new to me. We had internet back then, but it's not like, it wasn't the same. And you see the car shows around you, you see the car meets around you. It's not that extreme, when you see like the green Eclipse from Fast One. You wouldn't see cars driving like that in Israel. You would see nice, clean cars, like slightly modded exterior wise, mainly clean exterior wise cars, nice wheels, great fitment, some coilovers, but you wouldn't see something that extravagant. So remembering back then, seeing a car scene that's so crazy, the LA car scene, just, I think ever since then, I was in love with Fast and Furious cars. I always wanted to do the RX-7. It was such a unicorn, you know. And even today, I have the Velside body kit on the RX-7. I've seen so many RX-7, so many FDs, and I've never seen another one with a Velside body kit on it, which makes the car so different and unique for me. And that's really what I want to do. I want to be different,
Yeah. So how did you guys meet then?
Well, we were doing we were looking for a way to, I guess, say thank you to the fandom of the fast world, right? And the low-hanging fruit was to go find these replica builders and find people and ask them why. And really, because it's almost like Trekkies, and when you go to Comic-Con, you got the cosplay people, and it's for me sometimes, it's strange because there's an obsession and a fervor over these cars that is part of our legacy, but we never get to meet them, and we don't really understand the why behind that, I guess, like passion, right? And so I wanted to kind of explore that, and I felt like if someone was going to spend that type of money and that type of time in building a car, there must be a real reason why. So Shahar was one of the people we met, in the replica building world, and his story just really, triggered something. I was like, wow, this is a great story, not just because of the fast cars, but because of a man's, journey to follow his passion, right? And it happens to be cars, and that's where our connective tissue is. And I feel like there's something to be shared here, and something to learn from this person, And every time I hang out with Shahar, you learn, you peel that onion, and you understand why a person devotes so much to something. And the question to you, Shahar, is like, yeah, the Fast has cool cars and all of that, and things that, are Fast and Furious, if you will. But then, like, why? Why is it that people still are, fans of this franchise, there's something beyond just the action and stuff, right? And the cool things. Like, what is it that I think globally people, respond to? I want to ask you that question.
Well, I think it's mainly the cars. I mean, yeah, obviously, a documentary of a car movie would not get as income over a weekend in the box than an action car movie. But if you look at the franchise, it's all around cars. Even though from it's clearly that you can see that from the first movie up until the eight and nine, and they're going to space and whatever, it become more of an action movie than a car movie. But still, there's no other movie out there or franchise you can go and watch that would have so many extremely awesome cars around it. I mean, the first movie, Rob Cohen with the underground scene of LA, it was mainly about the cars, and the cars were the stars. And the cast was new, and it wasn't anybody, like a huge main actors. But the fact that you have that group of people that combines everybody, if it's white people, black people, Latinos, Asians, whatever, you have a nice group of people that combine everybody, that everybody can relate to someone. And you have the cars around that you see cool cars. Each one of the movies, you would see a bunch of cars across the movie that are great. I think that's what brings everybody back. Plus, for me, I'm in my 30s. I grew up on these movies. Older people maybe grew up on Bullet and on the main OG movies. We mainly our generation mainly grew up on Fast and Furious. So it keeps bringing you back. I mean, if there's a new Fast movie, I gotta watch it. It's not even a question.
Mhm. Okay.
And yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
So, do you think that obviously Fast and Furious has had a massive impact on your car taste? Do you think it's influenced your life in any other way? Because there's a lot of family themes going on. Do you think you're a different person because of how important those films have been in your life?
I think cars in general have affected my life in a way. If I'm a different person, maybe I'm a better person because of cars, and it's there's a different angle to it because when I started to build my first car, I had to manage a project. I had to understand what's the budget I need to put into it, what's the hours I'm going to put into it, keeping an Excel sheet of what I bought, how much I bought it for, if I took something off the car, if it's an OEM part, did I sell it, how much I invested in the car. It made me, my mind was kind of different because as a kid I got to manage a project, a personal project that I love, and it kind of taught me how to manage a project. Money in, money out. What did I bought? What did I sold? What mistakes have I done? How many parts I bought, like as wrong parts? How many times did I got it wrong until I got it right? And even today with those cars, I think every replica builder you're gonna ask, all of them have a version 1, version 2, version 3 of the car, because the parts are so hard to find that you just can't find it. The other aspect of it is I'm here today because of cars. So how crazy is that? I mean, I was I was so obsessed with getting a Viper that in my journey of getting my Viper, I've upgraded my life. I've I've moved from Israel. I had, don't get me wrong, I had great life in Israel. I have great friends in Israel. The country is amazing. The people are amazing. I had good job. But in some way, I feel like I've upgraded me and my wife by coming here and moving to the US and getting more um, And yeah, and even me and my wife and our relationship with us, in Israel we have a lot of friends and family and everything, and over here we're pretty much alone. We don't have any family over here. My mom is in Arizona. I get to see her every once in a while. um I have some new friends over here, but the relationship has gone better because we're closer to each other. So I think in some way it's all because of cars. So I have nothing but to be thankful with my obsession about cars.
Yeah,
Damn.
it's a healthy obsession. It's a passion. I
Mm.
think obsession is probably the wrong word. It's a true passion, and it's infectious. It's like when you hang out with Shahar, he always ends a conversation with "Have a blessed day," and there's humility. He never comes empty-handed. He's always trying to give people things. And to me, you look at that recipe and you see the byproduct. You see a person who's happy in his station in his life, and he sees, what's around them. And every day it's like sunshine for him because he's doing what he wants and he's living by his own rules, but they're rules that I think stem from not an obsession. Because obsession, I think people there's sacrifice.
Passion, yeah.
Right. It's a
Mm. Mm.
passion because he'll never skip dinner on Friday night because he has they have Shabbat on Fridays, right? And he's always there. And then obsession is he'll skip that,
Yeah.
and being
Right,
around
right.
Shahar, I learned that. I learned the difference between obsession and passion. And it's great to have passion. And, so
Yeah.
I think this podcast, like I even wrote it down. It's like, I try to come out with like, what's the lesson? What did I get out of this conversation? And I wrote it down, and it's like, if you follow your passion and you stay humble, um, you will have a blessed day, every day. That's kind of it,
Every day,
And, yeah. And in
every
between
day.
it, of course, there are challenges and it's hard and,
Of course.
it's scary, but look, it's like, I think Shahar is the testament of the American dream, whatever that is, that definition is. But to my definition is a place of opportunity and independence and trying to be different, right? And that's the beauty of being, where, beauty of living where we live, Shahar, is that, being independent and different is supported, man. It's like we all want to be, different. Maybe we want to be better, but we want to, I think once we get that ego and competition out of the way, um, that individualism and that willingness to stand out, can be a
Yeah.
really positive thing. And so thank you, Shahar, for sharing that
Th-
and sharing who you
Thank
are.
you, man. Thank you for everything you've done for me, man. I mean, the meeting you and hanging out and everything around it. I got to meet some great people because of you. Also, I mean, everybody around you is just an amazing people. And yeah, I mean, I'm just thankful to be here, man.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. All righty. That was a good huggy moment. So I think
I feel like I need
Alex.
to like lift weights or something. I don't know what's going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Talk to me about your cars, man. Talk to me about your cars.
Yeah.
So yeah, man.
So you
I
you
mean,
and Sung, I've seen that you did you both do the driving gratitude with Haggerty together?
Not together. He was one of. So they asked me to pick three people in my community that I wanted to spotlight, and
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Shahar was one of those people. Basically because of the stuff we talked about today. I thought
Yeah, yeah.
it'd be a cool story, and the carrot is the Fast and Furious cars, and then behind it is something different. So
Mm.
yeah. But
Okay.
Shahar
What?
did go to San Francisco with me. We went to the 914 rally, and we
Oh,
drove.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, we drove Billy Bob, the 74 914 with that V8, and then Shahar and another buddy Brendan drove that Alfa Romeo, the Montreal.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful thing.
That we got to do a little guys trip, doing
Yeah.
all of it. It was a good stress reliever. It was kind of cool because I'm like the worst planner. It was good is that Shahar's in construction and he likes to plan. He likes stupid stuff like, like where are we gonna sleep tonight? I'm like, I don't know.
All these
I don't
Excel
know.
spreadsheets, man.
Yeah, exactly. He's an Excel spreadsheet guy. I'm gonna just go with the wind, man. We might not even get to the hotel. What if we
Yeah,
get a flat tire,
yeah.
man? We might not get there,
He's
man.
he's yeah. So Alex, he's just go with the wing, and the only thing I ask is where are we gonna sleep tonight? Let's just have a place set up. And the way it ended up is, Sang was like, "Hey, I see a Motel 6 over here. That's a cool place. Let's just crash over there, sure." And then we come in over, and we're like, we're checking in, and then we're like, the security guy is like, "Are you guys gonna leave those cars over here? You sure? Because you're gonna get someone breaking into your car at night for sure. You sure you want to leave those cars over here?"
Yeah, we're checking. So Alex, we're checking in, right? And then they were in line with me. So then they were still, processing, and then the security guards outside, and I started recognizing this area because there's this airport. There's a small airport near this motel, and I think it's, excuse me, it's near Oakland,
Bless you.
and this part of San Francisco is not the best neighborhood, right? But it was late at night. I think it was like 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So
Wow, yeah, we drove for like 7 hours.
yeah, we're beat, and we just want to park the car and go to sleep and wake up in the morning. Just a few hours later, because I think it started at 6:30. So we only needed a couple of hours to crash, and we needed to drive another hour to get to where we're going. And so we go to this motel, and they're checking in, and I'm outside, and the security guard looks suspect. He has his hands in his pocket, and I'm like, hey, bro, hey, it's okay to leave the cars here? And he's like, I won't do that. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, are you the security, right? And he goes, yeah, but I can watch the car, but if someone comes to take it, I can't do anything about it. And he's like,
I'm only one person.
yeah, and he goes, do you know where you are? And I was like, yeah, I know where I am. He's like, no, this is not a good neighborhood, man. There's like prostitutes and drug dealers, and there's a bunch of druggies everywhere. And I'm like, but your job is to watch the cars. And he goes, hey, man, I watch it from over there, but if I'm not gonna stop them, dude. Like, I'm like, what? And he goes, by the way, it's my last night tonight. I started tonight. I'm not coming back tomorrow anyway. I was like, jeez, what is going on here? And then I go inside, and I'm telling the guys, like, hey, I think we got to leave. And I tell the lady that's checking us in, I go, hey, your security guard told us we shouldn't stay here. And like, the cars are not safe. And she's like, he told you that? And I go, yeah. And I go, is it true? And she's like, well, I'm inside. I don't know. And I'm like, well, this is what? We're not staying here. I go, refund. I said, let's just get the refund.
Yes.
And then there was a line of people behind us, like these truckers trying to check in. And so we checked, we got our money back, and we just took off, man. We drove another hour, went to a nicer place, but there was no parking. So then we actually drove to the location where the meet was going to be. And it was still a Motel 6. But all the other 914s were there. So we went to sleep. So we checked out. That was the story. Yeah. So we should plan. We should plan next time, but
I didn't say plan everything. I just said where are we gonna sleep. That's it.
it's no fun to plan. I mean, if I have to travel with my wife and there's ladies present, I get it. You need to respect that. But look, man, I don't need anything. I just need some food, a bathroom. I don't even need a bathroom. I just need
I just need a bucket.
I just need a tree. I need a tree. That's all I need.
That's a tree and a good sized leaf. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thick leaf, that'll do.
Yeah. That's all we need.
No, but it was a good drive. We stopped on the way in a great steakhouse. We got to meet a bunch of crazy nice 914 enthusiasts over there, and it was just flowing. It's like Sang said, go with the flow. Nothing was really planned during the day. We got invited to one of the guys, one of the local guys shop, and showed us his handmade 914 that he's building. Really nice guy. We had some beers over there and some pizza. It was just fun,
Yeah, that guy the guy that invited us to, it was actually his house. He had a garage in the back of his house that he built out,
Wow.
right?
Yeah.
And he's been
Nice.
working on this 914 masterpiece. I mean, it is a masterpiece. And he's self-taught. He's taught himself how to weld and fabricate. And I mean, he's creating like, space level stuff, right? Spaceship level stuff. And I kind of, what I got, it was great because I walked away with something, a great lesson from that evening. Because I don't know if Shahar knows this, but some other the folks shared with me that, he had been battling cancer, and
Hmm.
his mortality has been questioned, and so he had to retire, and he can't go outside because the sun, would, I guess,
So he
give him
only works
issues.
at night.
Yeah, and so
Wow.
he had to create his sanctuary, and his legacy is this 914. And it's crazy
Yeah.
that the car doesn't matter. It might never even get done because it's like a
Mm.
ridiculous car that I don't even know what you would drive it, where you would drive it. But the people that come together, and the men that and women, the men and women that came together that night to support him, to
Mm.
go and listen to his stories, and to celebrate his innovation, and to talk about what he had learned and what he had changed on the car. I could see in his eyes like a kid, like having purpose again, having a community, right? And I was like, this is what cars are for. This is what it's about, because he might never be able to even drive the car, right? And at
Yeah.
the end of the day,
Yeah.
it's just a bunch of metal, and aluminum
Mm.
and plastic. But that
But
evening,
bringing people together.
that was a
Yeah.
special evening because I would have never hung out with these people. Like, we're from all different walks of life, but the thing that brought us together was just this passion over an obsolete, underdog 914 Porsche. And you get to meet these people like that. I'm going, what's the difference between that and the Egyptians that made temples because they wanted to live on?
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
kind of man's way to fight, mortality, if you will, in a way. And it's his legacy. Like, you could see he put his blood and his soul, like, is all in, man. I don't think that was
He's
passion. That was
inventing stuff.
obsession.
Yeah.
That was obsession. It was like, and like that borderline of like, whoa, this is a little too much, but I get it. You can't go
Mm.
outside. You're wondering when the last day is going to happen, and you can't go to work. Your social circle's done, and now COVID happens. It's the
Yeah.
perfect place to put all of that negative energy and build something.
Yeah.
And then all these people get together that day. It was like a church, like a gathering
Like a
place.
shrine. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it was cool, man. It was really cool. So
It's amazing how inanimate
Yeah.
objects can do that, isn't it?
yeah,
And
Go
the
on.
next day we went to the Z car garage. That was cool. Also, we got to drive his car. And
Yeah.
that soup place, that sketchy soup place after that also.
yeah. We
You
got
like
to go.
sketchy places, don't you?
I do. I like holding the wall everything, because the cool thing is that either it's going to be horrible or going to be amazing. So it's a 50-50 chance, right? And if it's amazing, then it's special, because in your
It's a win.
up your sleeve, you got all these cool
Yeah.
places to take people,
Yeah.
right?
And if
Yeah.
it's horrible, I can just blame sound on it. So
Yeah. Blame the electric
It was
effects.
out of a movie. That waiter was out of a movie, man. It's like we were asking for water the whole lunch. I don't think we ever got water. We never got water. We got the food, we got the bill, but we never got the water.
Yeah.
But
it's like a one kid. He's the only waiter in the restaurant. It clearly shows that he doesn't want to be there,
yeah,
and he's like, "We're the only one in the restaurant. There's nobody else. And can we get water?" And he keeps going back to the bar, and the water is like next to him, and he's like, "Ah, ah." He's like, he doesn't know what to do. And
and we were like, hey, can we get the
walked-
water? Can we
and
get
I
the
walked-
water?
I walked
Yeah.
to him and I'm like, the water is over here. Let me just grab it. I asked you for what's going on. And then Sang went over there and his mom just came in and Sang was all pissed, and his mom, and the kid wouldn't understand, but his mom did, and his mom saw Sang and he's like, I'll get you water right now. So we got the water with the bill. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We got the
It was
water.
delicious
from the mom.
water, but I
Yeah,
felt
the
his
best one you've
pain.
ever had.
I felt his pain. Like he was dressed to go hang out with his buddies, and this is a
Yeah,
restaurant, and like he looked like a customer that was coming to pick up something to go, right?
he
Carry
didn't want
out.
to be there.
He did not,
Yeah.
and I feel his pain, but I also, it's like I wanted to smack that kid, man. Like if that was his older brother, I would have drug him outside. I would pour water in his throat, down his throat, going, when they ask for water, this is what they want. It's that simple, man. You don't even have to give it to them. You can just place it there and go, this is where the water. It's an Asian restaurant. People don't care. People are not expecting service. You can just have a sign. You can misspell it. You can just put H2O with an arrow with cups
So
and a
let's go
faucet.
grab it.
That's all you got to do, man. Right?
Self-serve, just grab it.
Yeah.
You could charge for it. You could be a quarter a cup. People will still go get it themselves.
I think that's the one moment in my life I got to appreciate water.
Yeah.
We're still gonna leave a tip.
Yeah. All right. I think we gotta go soon. But anything else, Alex? You want
Yeah,
to
I've
talk
just
about?
before we go, I've got a couple of questions from the punters on Facebook who are loving the cars, by the way.
Yeah.
Let me get some good questions. Oh, a lot of people saying Gala 12 or Gala 24.
It's gotta be 24, man. Gotta be 24. Didn't know pizza places makes engines. You know, this guy is actually in LA. I've talked to him also. He's a cool dude.
Really?
Agent
brilliant.
Dan, yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
so many
amazing.
jokes.
It's amazing how such a small part of the movie would be so recognized with Gallo 12 or Gallo 24.
It's amazing.
You know,
it's just such an iconic line. A lot of how much should it cost? I don't know. Ask you how much it costs. Come on. Let's get some good questions.
A lot of what?
People are asking how much it costs. I don't want to ask you how much your cars cost. That's your business. Okay.
I mean, I can give you a general idea, but yeah.
Go on. A general idea.
I mean, for a general idea, you gotta understand these cars. If you're going into being a replica builder, I would first suggest to get the wheels before you get the car, because the car is easy to get. Those cars. I'm sorry. Those cars. I mean, the Eclipse. It's a $500 car, but there's almost another 30,000 into it. I think if you do it right, and if you manage the build, and if you do your Excel sheet with all the parts and sourcing the parts before you got the car, you can get this project within $20,000 to $30,000. I've seen replica builders that got to $70,000 after version 3 of the car, and that's the first mistake everybody's doing. They're getting the car and they're doing it as they go. And I do it also, and I understand it, because you have the passion and you want to drive that car so much. So you get the car and you start enjoying it, and it just keeps you motivated all the time with just continuing the build. But yeah, if you want to do the green Eclipse, I think you got to put aside a budget of $20,000 to $30,000 easy. I would highly recommend to get the parts first, at least the main parts, which would be the wheels, the body kit, the wing, and yeah, the decals are available with Mono Image, the roof scoop, stuff that are hard to find. For me, I painted the car before I did the roof scoop. That's why the roof scoop is still not on, because in order to do the roof scoop, I have to probably repaint the whole car, because I would have to do the whole roof line, and then it would not match the rest of the car. That's why it's still not on. The RX-7, obviously, it's a more complex car. The body kit is welded into the body. There's a lot of fiberglass work to be done. The wheels are even more rare than the green Eclipse. The car to begin with is a $20,000 to $25,000 car. With an with the Mitsubishi, yeah, go buy a junkyard car for $500. It's all out there. It's all easy to find. The RX-7, if you get a car, um, if you get a car that's in the wrong color, like if it's going to be a black car and you're going to do it red, it's extra work. If you're going to get a car that the rotary is not 100% over there, you're doomed, like me. If you need to start with a $25,000 car, and again, it's like the Eclipse. It's another $20,000 or $30,000 to put into it with aftermarket parts. So
Sure.
people see those cars and they're like, "Oh, an Eclipse? That's a $500 car. I can do that too." But what about the rest of it? There's so much behind it that you wouldn't see. The main car that I did recently that was on the less expensive side was the Fast and Furious One Black Heist Honda Civic. So I got a really nice used black car, which was a shortcut because the paint was already great on it. The body kit is still available from VIS. It's a $1,500 body kit. The car was like $4,000. The wheels, I got lucky. I got the wheels with the car, but if you get the wheels for another 1,000 or 2,000, you're good. And that can easily be an under $10,000 replica build. So if you're looking on doing a nice clean car from Fast and Furious One, I think the Honda Civic would be a nice project. If you manage it right, you can be under $10,000. It's a car I built for a good friend of mine, Rich. He's a Vin Diesel lookalike, and it's like the perfect match, the perfect match, to have him with this car. So yeah, that's pretty much some numbers on those cars.
Nice.
There's three questions that came in from his name is Joe. And
Joe.
first question was, do you park your cars outside?
Yes.
And then the second question was, what time do you usually go to sleep? Third question is, what security camera system do you use?
Okay.
No answers.
I don't sleep.
Okay.
You don't need cameras if you don't sleep.
Joe, he does not sleep.
All my cars. I honestly don't have a garage. All my cars are parked in my driveway. I have a huge canopy and good car covers. I do have my security cameras on them. My 2 daily drivers are blocking the cars every night, and all the cars are parked with no steering wheels.
Oh yes,
So
of course, yeah.
You can't tell
good luck with
people,
that.
hey, you can't give them all this information, man.
Yeah.
Jeez. What steering wheel do you take out? What quick release company is that? Do you use?
So what you're saying is your car's a BYOS. It's bring your own steering wheel.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Sorted. Just got to get around the daily drivers and the cameras. I'll write this down.
So you just need a steering wheel and to know how to daily drive a stick shift.
Yeah. There you go. Oh man, well thanks so much for giving us your story. It's been great, and I love seeing the cars and hearing your love for the Fast and Furious and how it's changed your life. It's been enlightening, actually. It really has. So thank you very much for
Thank you guys for having me. Thank you for the opportunity to share. I mean,
such
thank
a pleasure.
you guys.
Such
Yeah.
a pleasure. I've got to do. Actually, where can people find you on Instagram? And you've got a YouTube channel. Give them everything.
So my Instagram would be the Vipers guy. It mainly started because I had 2 Vipers when I moved over here. I bought me and my wife 2 matching Vipers. And
Nice.
my YouTube channel is just my name, Shahar Algazy. There's not much to it right now, but I'm working on it. You can always find me in a local Cars and Coffee around LA because I live in LA, and I try to get the cars out, all of them out every weekend. I try to get each one of them out. And yeah, the Vipers guy on Instagram. Cool.
Yeah, go and follow, because you've got some great stuff. You've got a lot of great photos, and it's good. I've now got to do our pluggy bit, which I always hate doing. Find us on songsgarage.com and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search for Songs Garage. Subscribe to the Songs Garage podcast on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, Player FM, and more! Exclamation mark. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just search for Songs Garage and make sure to hit that notification bell. Thanks so much for watching. It's been great to have you on.